secret number 2, sales is certainty. What does that even mean? Sales is certainty, right? Why should you first of all listen to this? You should listen to this. You must listen to this and finish this video, because this will give you clarity on an underlying piece of sales that most people are missing. Most people think that sales is about techniques and manipulation and using this idea and using that clause and using this clause and using this strategy. No, there is an underlying deeper level thing that is happening when you are in a sales conversation. When you are in a sales conversation, meaning you might be selling something, or you might be giving a speech, or you might be influencing people. You might have a director board meeting, or you're talking with your wife, your husband, your children. You're trying to persuade them. Doesn't matter what you do. In all the persuasion conversations, this is what is happening. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. But before that, what is the neurology and psychology of this? The neurology and psychology is that sales or persuasion is transfer of emotion. Sales or persuasion is transfer of emotions, which means that if you are transferring an emotion of fear, what is going to happen? They are going to get fearful. One more time. If you are transferring fear, if you go to a sales conversation with fear, I really need this commission. I really need to influence this person. I need to grow my business. I'm not able to. If you go from that desperation, that is exactly what they are going to feel. That is exactly what you are selling. That is exactly the feeling they are going to associate with your product. Desperation, fear, and lack of confidence. So if it is on the other side, if you are absolutely certain, you're absolutely confident about your product, about your service, about what you do, then what happens? When you talk to them, they feel that certainty in their body. Language doesn't matter. Language doesn't even matter. Beyond language, beyond even body language, in your tonality, people feel your level of certainty. The level of certainty that you have, that would take your business to the next level, because people will resonate with that certainty. Okay, so sales is transfer of emotion, particularly confidence and certainty. Certainty, because they need to feel certain that your product is going to work for them. And we will talk more about why they should feel that, why this is like there is something called belief conflict, and there are so many other things behind the scene. We'll go through all of that in the next probably like 10 more videos. But let's jump into this particular one. What is the strategy? What do we do? One, we should have a certainty about product, which is what we covered yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, go watch that video. You need to have certainty about the product that is valuable. And if it's service, same thing, right? They should have service certainty. They should have a certainty that your product, your service is more valuable than what they are paying for. And if you're on the Eastern bloc of the world, then you are even more, it's even more important for you to make sure that it's more valuable, because Eastern world is more value conscious than the Western world. If you're in the Western world, you need to create like even more value in terms of perception. They are more open to it, right? And they are quick action takers too. In the Eastern world, people will probably, this is all mass generalizations, but at the same time, this could be generally true. There are exceptions to every rules. This will have exceptions too. But the general idea is you need to have product and service certainty. You need to feel that. So you need to have a belief table. If you haven't done that, make sure that you do that. Make sure that your team has a belief table for their own belief about what your product, your service is going to provide them. So next thing is connect and trust. This is another emotion. You are able to connect with the person. It's a transfer of connection from you. So meaning they feel connected to you. They are feeling the emotion of being connected. It's an emotion too. You'll be like, connection is an emotion. Yeah, you're feeling connected. It's an emotion. Emotion, you're feeling connected to another person. You could feel it, right? Yeah. So another thing is trust. Trust is another emotion. So what is that? Sales is certainty. Particularly in sales, what happens is there is a transfer of emotion. There is a transfer of emotion from the seller to the buyer. There is a transfer of emotion. What are the emotions that we need to be transferring? One is certainty. We already covered that. This is most of it. If you have certainty, and if you are able to transfer certainty, they feel certain, they buy, they go home, they're happy. and you are happy too, right? And if they don't have certainty, you lost the game. This is bonus things that I'm about to talk about right now. Second one is connect. Without connection, they would not be open to getting that certainty. If you're not connected with them, they are not feeling the connection to be open to having that certainty. Makes sense? So this is a prerequisite kind of for certainty, which is connection. The second one is trust. Trust is, if they don't trust you, how would they feel certainty? So even if you gave everything, and if you show up as a non-trustworthy person, then they are not going to buy from you. They are not going to be influenced by you. They are not going to be persuaded by you. Why? Because they don't feel trust. They don't feel that you are a trustworthy person. Makes sense? So connection, trust, and certainty. So when you talk about connection and trust, keep in mind, you need to have, the prospects need to have certainty and trust and connection with the salesperson, right? Because you are the human being or the website or whatever tool that you're using to sell, right? So the tool, if it's salesperson, then they should be able to build that connection with that salesperson. And if it's a website that is selling, they should be able to, like everybody, like, oh, I'm going to go buy on Amazon. Why? Because there is trust in it. There is no question about it. Oh my gosh, am I going to lose my credit card on Amazon? If anybody says like that, you'll be like, what's wrong with you? It's 2023. Like, why are you talking like this? Amazon, there are millions of people who are using Amazon right now. That's what you would say, because trust is implied. There's an implied trust for Amazon, for Google, for Microsoft, other companies. So, I mean, there might be still people hacking all of these websites, but we have a trust. We have a feeling that we could trust. Same way, as a salesperson, on a physical sales conversation, you need to be able to build trust as a person. Second is trust as a company or product. Right? So trust as a person, connection as a person, and also connection and trust as a company as well. That's when people are willing to buy from you. Makes sense? It's very simple if you learn the behind the scene. And this is not like fancy, gimmicky, used car salesman type situation. There's nothing wrong with used car. Like, it's good to have a used car sometimes. It's cost effective and you don't need to spend premium price on it. But the point is that you need to learn the behind the scene of persuasion, rather than shutting off your life to sales. Oh, I don't want to, those people, salespeople, I don't want to deal with those people, versus you step up and understand that everything that you have is sold by somebody. Everything that you have is sold by somebody. The camera that I'm using, sold by somebody. The computer, the layout, the PowerPoint, the Microsoft, everything, the lights, everything sold by somebody. Everything that I see, the paper that I have, the board I have here, everything, the lights that I have, the blind that I have, the window that I have, the router that I have for internet, everything is sold by somebody. Whether it is a website, whether it is a person, it was sold by somebody. It was sold for a higher value. And I looked at it and like, okay, this router is good. Okay, let me go ahead and get this router. This computer is good. Let me go ahead and get that, because I saw that it's more valuable than the money that I'm paying, or equal value as the money that I'm paying. Makes sense? And I had the certainty. I had the trust. I had the connection. Okay, let's use this Canon camera. Okay, cool. Because Canon has the best cameras. All of a sudden, there is a perception of trust in the company. So even every detail, like you might be like, oh, I hate salespeople. But you know what? My favorite hobby is shopping. How would that be, right? Shopping is basically buying, right? So I want to go buy, but I hate salespeople. We need to get out of this frame. If you want to really influence people really big, we need to get out of this frame and move on to the next level. So what is the tactics here? The tactics is infect your prospect with your certainty. This is what I Have a Dream was about. This was a salesperson selling an idea of civil rights for the people who were not treated equally, the Black community, right? So he went ahead and said, and there were a lot of white people there. There were a lot of Black people and there were a lot of white people there. They showed up because for a sales pitch. The sales pitch did not say something like, oh, I have a proposal. He said, I have a dream. So he shared his vision, Martin Luther King, with 200,000 people or more in front of Lincoln Memorial. It's a fascinating place. I had the unique opportunity to go there and stand there exactly where Martin Luther King stood and touch there and probably take a selfie, I guess, right? So I don't know where that picture is. But the point is, like, being able to influence people in that level. inspiring people with a vision. It comes from having the certainty in your body, having the connection with the people, whether it's one person or 100 people or 1,000 people or 200,000 people, being able to connect with that person and build that trust so that they have the certainty. So infect your audience, infect your prospects, infect your readers. If you're writing a book, do the same thing, because you're selling an idea. I wrote a book called 90 Days to Life, which became an international best-selling book. Why? Because the same idea, you need to be selling the idea to them. Your book is about selling your idea. Every word that comes out of your mouth is selling your idea, selling your vision. And if you're able to do that, if you're able to infect your prospect, the person in front of you, with your certainty, then all of a sudden they become a raving fan. They're fascinated by you, because world lacks certainty. It's an uncertain world. There are so many things that are happening right now, and probably there is going to be more things happening in the next 2 years, next 3 years, next day, next month. More uncertainty might be coming our way. But being able to find the certainty amidst of the ocean of uncertainty, that's where things change for you. And when you become a person of integrity with that certainty in your body, then it's magical. Everybody who want to talk to, everybody that you talk to, they want to work with you. They want to buy your service. They want to get your product, because you become the trustworthy person. You become that connection person. You become the embodiment of certainty. That's what sales is about. So tomorrow, coming up next, I wanted Visa. It's a simple idea, but it's very powerful. And I'll teach you how to influence other person's subconscious when you are legitimately solving a problem, when you are legitimately adding so much value. This is one way for you to legitimately influence people, their subconscious, and getting them to buy from you. Let's talk about that tomorrow on secret number 3. But before that, don't go away. Before that, practice talking with certainty. And you might see me practicing talking with certainty. Like in my conversation, you will feel that certainty. And if you look at the people who are really good influencers, they might have significant certainty. They have significant confidence, because their confidence is spilling through their mouth in certainty. And if you are able to embrace this one thing, just one thing, and you forget about everything else in life, if you're able to build certainty in your conversation, you won the game already. And if you're able to infect other people with your certainty, you won the game 2 times. If you're able to live in certainty and influence other people with certainty and influence a team of people around you to build that certainty, you are a master. That's what I'm inviting you to. Okay, so tomorrow, once again, secret number 3, we'll talk about it, how to influence other person's subconscious legitimately while we are giving so much value to them. See you tomorrow. But before you go, put that in the comment. What was the best idea that you liked from today? What was the best thing that you liked from today that you're going to use in your business? What is something that probably something out of the ordinary that you heard that you're going to implement in your business in the next 24 hours? And make sure that you implement that in your conversation. Practice with certainty, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.